What's up, nerds? Do you want your Nintendo and your Pokemon account to get banned? No? Then you need to stay away from all the shinies that I'm about to talk about. This is a list of all currently unobtainable shiny Pokemon. Alright, so today's date is September 10th, 2025. I'm going to be doing these videos like every 6 months to like a year. That way this list kind of like stays up to date. Alright, so let's get into it. We're going to start off by generation. So we're going to start off with Gen 1. The only Gen 1 Pokemon you need to stay away from is Pikachu. Who would have thought that the franchise mascot you'd have to stay away from? Specifically, these 8 hat Pikachus. The first 6 Pikachus were given out to celebrate the anime's 20th anniversary and also like the release of the I Choose You movie. Those 6 Pikachus having the original Hoenn, Sinnoh, Kalos, and Alola caps. These Pokemon were distributed in Sun and Moon. And then, of course, for Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, we have the Partner Cat Pikachu. And then for Sword and Shield, we have the World Cat Pikachu that was distributed to celebrate the release of the Crown Tundra. Gens 1 through 4 are good. Any Gens 1 through 4 Pokemon, I guess you can get their shinies legitimately somehow. But Gen 5 is a different story. It's been like 15 years and we still have not gotten a shiny Victini. Victini has been distributed a few times, however. Once in 2010, whenever Black and White came out. Twice in 2011. Once, I think, just because. And then once because like the Black and White movie came out. And then we got another one again in 2016 for X and Y, and then Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Then our most recent one was in 2022. During the 2022 Pokemon World Championships, which we got like a code for it during like one of the live streams. There are a few Gen 6 Pokemon that we can't get shinies of right now, one of them being Ash Greninja. Ash Greninja was only available after playing the Sun and Moon demo. The Sun and Moon demo is no longer available, so Ash Greninja honestly is kind of like hard to get right now, technically. Also for Gen 6, we got a weird one, which is the Pokeball pattern Vivillon. We got a distribution of the Pokeball pattern Vivillon in X and Y in 2014 for like a Pokemon Center thing. And then again, we got one for Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire in Japan in 2016. But that's the only times we've seen the Pokeball pattern Vivillon. Which I'm wondering with like Legends EA coming out, I wonder if like the Pokeball pattern Vivillon will be like in the game or if we're going to get like another distribution for it. If it spawns in the wild, like maybe then you'll be able to shiny hunt it. And then of course we have Hoopa as well. Hoopa was distributed in 2015 through like a McDonald's like code card thing, and then once again in 2016 in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Those games like had like the prison bottle, which was used to transform Hoopa into Hoopa Unbound. And then to close off Gen 6, we have Volcanion. Volcanion was distributed once in 2016 for the Volcanion and Magearna movie, and then the last time we got one was in 2022 for like a GameStop event. All right, so now that leads us to Gen 7. Cosmog is shiny locked. You can only get Cosmog during the story of Sun and Moon and Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and then by playing Pokemon Go. And neither of them can be shiny. So that means Cosmoem could not be shiny either. Now you might be thinking like Lunala and Solgaleo can't be shiny either, but that's not the case because we did get a shiny Lunala and Solgaleo distribution at the end of like the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon like lifespan. And both of them are actually available in Dynamax Adventures in Sword and Shield, which means that they can also be shiny hunted there as well. So yeah, your shiny Solgaleo and Lunala are probably legit. Also, if you want to know if your Pokemon are hacked or not, whoop, here's a guide right here for you. You're welcome. All right, so next up we have Magearna. Magearna was never like actually distributed. Rather, you had to use like the Sun and Moon like camera to scan a QR code, and then you would get yourself a Magearna. This QR code actually still works like to this day, so you can still go get yourself a Magearna if you haven't already. And also, just to clear some things up, I still feel like people still think like the Pokeball form of Magearna is its shiny. It's a completely different form. It's not its shiny at all. Neither of these Pokemon have had their shinies released, so the only way to get Magearna is by scanning that QR code, and then the only way to get the Pokeball form Magearna is by completing the National Dex in Pokemon Home. Also, side note, shiny Pokeball Magearna is actually really sick. Next up, we have Marshadow. Marshadow can't be shiny, but it was distributed in 2017 for like a GameStop event, and then for the I Choose You movie in Japan. And then the last time we got Marshadow was in 2022 in Sword and Shield, and that was only in America and Europe. All right, next up, we got Melmetal. So this only applies to the Melmetal that can Gigantamax. Now, you might be thinking like, oh, I could just transfer my shiny Melmetal from Go into Sword and Shield and then give it the soup, and then it can Gigantamax, right? That's not the case because regular melmetal transferred from Go will not eat the soup. This means that the only melmetal that you can get that's capable of Gigantamaxing is the one that you get from home. You can get this melmetal by transferring Pokemon from Go to home. Alright, so now moving on to Sword and Shield. Kubfu cannot be shiny. It's only available by doing the Isle of Armor in Sword and Shield, and then you can also catch it in Scarlet and Violet. It can't be shiny hunted. Oh yeah, also you can also get Kubfu in Go, but still, neither of these can be shiny. So that means Urshifu as well cannot be shiny. However, at time of recording, I believe we're supposed to be getting like Gigantamax Urshifu raids in Pokemon Go. I don't know if they're going to be shiny locked or not. This would be the first time that we've gotten like Shinies in Pokemon Go that haven't been released in the mainline games yet. So I guess we'll see what happens there. Zarude, both the regular and the data form Zarude, that's the one with like the scarf thing, cannot be shiny. We got a Zarude distribution in 2020 to, like, if you signed up for the Pokemon Trainer Club newsletter, you got yourself a Zarude. And then we got it once again once the Secrets of the Jungle / Coco movie came out in 2021. So the Horsies and Calyrex, so we got Glactrier, Spectrier, Calyrex, neither of them can be shiny. You can get the horses in the Crown Tundra and in Scarlet and Violet by doing some BBQs in like the Indigo Disc DLC. Calyrex can only be obtained in the Crown Tundra. So neither of these Pokemon have been distributed like at all. So that covers Sword and Shield. Scarlet and Violet, Gen 9, woo! So obviously we have Koraidon and Miraidon. Their shinies have not been made available yet. I have a feeling that we'll be getting some sort of like shiny Koraidon Miraidon event here soon. It seems like once we reach like the end of a generation, we tend to get like the box legends like shiny unlocked. So I've said it in videos before, but I think it would be super sick to have like Koraidon, like the shiny Koraidon, shiny Miraidon available in 7-star raids to like kind of send off in Sunset, Scarlet and Violet.
What's up, guys? Real quick, about like a day after I filmed this video, we got an announcement for the shiny Koraidon and shiny Miraidon distribution. So that's going to run between September 26th through October 15th. So if you're watching this after October 15th, 2025, just disregard anything that I just said about the shiny Koraidon and shiny Miraidon.
Pretty much, it's going to be the same thing with like the rest of the Scarlet and Violet Legends, aside from like the trash bozos that we just got, which, by the way, by the time this video goes up, you have like 2 weeks to redeem your shiny Treasures of Ruin, which like these like just came available for the first time. So this means Pokemon like Blood Moon Ursaluna, Okidogi, Pheasantipity, Monkey Dory, Terapagos, my girl Ogerpon, Pecharunt, Walking Wake, Iron Leaves, Iron Boulder, Iron Crown, Raging Bolt, Gouging Fire. All of these Pokemon are still shiny locked. With like the recent Treasures of Ruin like shiny raid event like that is going on right now, there is some hope that like maybe we can get like a similar event for these Paradox Pokemon as well. Because like if you think about it, if we don't get the shiny Paradoxes in Scarlet and Violet, that means we have to wait until we can hunt them in another game. So we'll have to wait until like Paradoxes are implemented into another game, or we have to wait for them to come out in Pokemon Go. So if we don't get them in Scarlet and Violet, we're going to be waiting like a very long time to get like the shiny Paradox legendary guys. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to be like updating this list every 6 months to a year. But right now, that is like the list. That's the list of all unobtainable shiny Pokemon right now in the Pokemon franchise. Like and sub for more Pokemon content. See you in the next one. Peace.